All right, I told you I was going to tell you who played well and who didn't play well in this football game. I think Jalen Cropper has brought some receivers back into this thing.
That was bad, huh?
Well, in a way of the fumble didn't help. They're trying to get these guys to play special teams, and I even say that about Racy McMath, the wide receiver who's trying to, get back into this thing. He makes a couple of catches, and all of a sudden they put him on the punt team as the flyer. He's going down the sidelines. He gets blocked, and now they have a huge return. So all of a sudden, then they change it. The next guy. They're kind of doing that. But I think Cropper has brought some guys back into this mix. I felt like he had a chance going into this game to really to solidify his position. And I don't know if they're going to keep 5 or 6 wide receivers here. That's the issue. And I felt like there were going to be 4 guys. I don't know why that Durden didn't play any snaps in the game the other day. He was a guy that I kind of felt like that was going to start to compete or was part of this mix. But Cropper's bringing some guys back into the final spot for these wide receivers for his play. The running back, I don't know if we're any closer to where that needs to be. I don't know with the thing with Royce Freeman. I liked what I saw from him running the football. I thought there was some nice power with him. I thought there was the ability to find that hole and then to make that whether if he had to make a cut or then he just had to find a way just to kind of get through it and then get up to the field. Deuce Vaughn is different running the football. Now, Deuce Vaughn used to be a dance guy. He used to just dance behind the line of scrimmage. He doesn't dance anymore. It's
nice.
Listen, they've told him like, listen, hey, you're going to get the ball, and if you see something, hit it and go. If you have to spin, okay, you can do that. But there was a time where Deuce Vaughn used to dance, and now it's get 3 yards and let's fight for the next play. Or it's get through the hole and then find a way. There were some really good combination blocks that he took advantage of in this game where the guys, the centers, the guards were able to get up like we were talking about, with BB and Bass and those guys, and him able to follow that and then go up. The tight ends as a whole blocked a little bit better in this football game. I want to give some credit for John Stevens for the way he blocked in this football game.
Can we stop on Vaughn, though? Because he was a superstar in his rookie year.
Yes.
Then we get to the regular season. It's under 3 an attempt, and we're like, oh, this guy just can't play against this level of player, right? Leave him on the field against, second and third teamers.
The dancing around.
So do you think that adjustment fixed him to a point that he could be a star for you?
I think that he's a guy that you would have to consider putting on the roster just because he gives you the explosiveness you don't have. They tried to, if you remember me coming on OTA talk and
the receiver stuff.
They was like, hey, well, they're going to try and he's watching Cole Beasley film and this, that.
That's when I thought it was over for sure.
Yeah, the thing out here is, unfortunately, he got hurt when you guys were out here. He didn't practice a lick. And now he's finally back on the field, and unfortunately, though, I don't know if it's too late or not, but he's the one guy they talk about the word juice, and he's the one that has that kind of ability. But we'll see if in fact that me personally, the one position they might go long is the one they don't need to go long at, and that's running back. I feel like, listen, if you take 3, take Hunter Lipke as the 4th, and then figure it out. If Deuce Vaughn's your guy, great. If Freeman's your guy, great. But don't sit there and carry 5 running backs and think, okay, we're going to not have another corner. We're not going to have another receiver. We're not going to have another offensive lineman or another defensive lineman. That's what I worry about.
Yeah.
I worry about that a little bit.
Would you be keeping Zeke?
See, this is the discussion that I would have it with, because what they've done is they've protected us. Okay, I shouldn't say protected us. They protected Zeke from us being critical of him. How about that? Does that work for you guys? They don't practice him, and they don't play him. So nobody could say anything about Zeke, whether he should make the team or not, because we're not all out here going, damn, Zeke looks slow today. Yeah. Zeke looks like he's not explosive today. Man, Zeke, we're not even having the opportunity to evaluate Zeke out here. Because the way that he practices, you see him occasionally 1-2 carries against the Rams. Oh, that looked pretty good. Oh, well, that didn't look so good. They're really not letting us evaluate this guy. And I think a lot of it has to do with because they're like, hey, if we just go ahead and just kind of rubber stamp this thing through, nobody's going to say anything. But, if you really want to break it all down, his spot should be in question as well. With is him and Freeman kind of the same guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Freeman might have a little bit more explosiveness to his game. It's the sentimental things that we're thinking about with Zeke. And, hey, maybe they're playing it the right way. Maybe all the bubble wrap stuff, and he goes out there in week 1, week 2, week 3, and he gives us 8 weeks of really quality football. But you'd have a hard time to be evaluating him out here right now if you were playing that game. I want to tip the cap to, and this is just a tip of the cap. Matt Willetsko, he played the whole damn game the other day. And you know what? It could have been a disaster for him. He didn't give up a sack or a pressure. So, good for him. I mean, is he a guy that looks like he's might regressed a little bit? Yeah, a little bit. But he played the whole damn game at right tackle. Awesome Richards playing guard. I talked to some people in the organization about this. I go, hey, you look like you might have found something with Awesome Richards at guard. We go, we think he's a better tackle. I'm like, okay, we'll play him at tackle then. Well, no, they're playing him at guard. So, keep an eye on that. Brevin Spann
he's
Ford.
Not a good guard either.
That's weird.
Yeah, Brevin Spann Ford, the tight end. I think he might have played himself off this team. I just don't. I feel like though that they gave him a lot of money coming out of college. Hey, you got to be careful with these rookie players. You don't want to completely throw dirt on him, but they're asking him to be a blocker. He's not really doing that very well. They're asking him like, okay, run routes, catch the ball. He's really not doing that very well. So when you start to think about these tight ends, I think that they're probably going to keep 3. I think it's, if you really wanted to break it down, it's Ferguson, it's Stevens, it's Schoonmaker, and then there, and then you got Hunter Lipke as the potential 4th guy. So Hunter Lipke's affecting 2 positions. He's the running back room, and he's also potentially in the tight end room. So that might be something to completely keep an eye on. I'm doing good on time here, so we should be fine with them.
Yeah. I wanted to jump in here with
a
little bit of breaking Rangers news. Jacob deGrom said he'll likely make his first rehab start Thursday night for the Frisco Rough Riders.
There we go.
Ooh, that's going to be a hot ticket. Get out there to Frisco.
Well, that's good that, they need him to pitch.
I'm so excited.
Get us excited about something, please.
Yeah, please give us something.
More Josh Young and bang homers. And how about Leofow? Can I ask you about him?
No, I appreciate you doing that. I was have him circled on my roster here that I'm looking at. The thing with Leofow, he was not good against the Rams the first time that we played. I know I came on Krusty's Corner afterwards talking about the film. I didn't feel like that, man, this guy guessed. He was out of position. Him and Willie Harvey both were not very good. In this game, he was very good. And I mean good where he was more decisive. It wasn't any hesitation to his game. It was like he was sure. They ran. The Raiders had a big run, and this is why I tell you the run defense is going to be better. The Raiders did have a big run, but I'll tell you why I think that the scheme is going to help them because of the linebackers. They run Rodgers the tackle. They get him in the hole square. Good. Leofow takes the whole opposite. Good. Now they've got that kind of secure. They're playing Willie Harvey's a scrape linebacker, and if he could get there, and he's just a tick late. But I'm thinking, okay, wait, that's Willie Harvey. What if that's Overshown? What if that's Clark? What if that's Kendricks? What if there's one of those guys? That's a play for 1 yard, 2 yards right there. Instead, with some backup guys, it's like it's an 8-yard play. But the scheme to me, the square tackle, the fill linebacker, the scrape linebacker, they will play better run defense because the scheme kind of covers up everything that you're trying to do running the football. And the thing with Leofow, he was the one that just took on the block at the point, made the back have to move. Now they got to get another linebacker over there. But like I say, Willie Harvey is not going to be playing against the Cleveland Browns out there or the New Orleans Saints the following week. So I feel like with these linebackers, they're going to be able to do some pretty good things there.
When does he get in trouble?
Leofow?
Yeah.
When he guesses. Yeah, when it's like
he was doing against the Rams.
Against the Rams, it's like he wasn't sure where he really needed to fit. It's almost like he was anxious, over aggressive. Him and Harvey both were just really out of sorts, and all of a sudden you see guys jumping gaps, and the ball goes right, where they need to be. More scheme aware and really playing downhill in this football game with some aggressiveness that Leofow was able to do there. So good job by him.
All righty.
America's most hated guy, Albert Huggins.
Yes.
Actually played pretty well for you in this football game.
He pushed people he was supposed to.
Yeah, what we figured out, though, is that if you maybe we could just say, hey, we'll put a Rams polo on the quarterback of the other team, and then we'll get a little bit more of an aggressive player. But it was good by him. He's playing the 3 technique. He's chasing the ball. He's playing square. Those things you ask the defensive tackles to do. He was a guy, there was a lot of whispers about him getting kicked out and being done. But he kind of showed up the other day for you. So back in good graces, with the coaching staff here. Where else do I want to go? Oh, with Hall, the corner. We kind of talked about him, and I asked the question about, I think that it's going to come down to Hall. We'll see with Booth's situation. Booth might have made this football team because of the trade. They have, a second round, he was a second round talent and all that. Hall played really, really well for you in this game. I know he had the pick 6, the coverage. There was only one really minus play that I saw, but there was an open field tackle where he's got to make the tackle. He missed it, and afterwards, you could see the reaction that he had. Mm-hmm. But I thought overall he played pretty well in this game. And I mentioned about Israel Mukwamu. They're trying to kind of find a spot for him. He's been playing a lot of nickel. He's been playing a lot in the slot. People will talk about the flexibility that he has to play safety, but I think he got the safety position covered. You got to figure out who could be the slot corner if something happens, to Jordan Lewis. I don't know if it will be Carson would be that guy. I think Carson's more of an outside guy, but like I say, Booth and then Hall and then Izzy. One of those, if maybe 2 of those guys make the team, maybe one of those guys. I think we're still battling for that final spot at the cornerback here, boys.